It was Good Friday, April 6th, 2012. Morning sunlight bathed the runways of Naval Air Station Oceana. Two Navy pilots ran final checks on their A-18D Hornet, expecting a simple, routine flight. On the ground, families went about their day in Virginia Beach. Children played on lawns. Neighbors chatted by mailboxes. No one imagined a fighter jet would soon tear through their quiet world. As the Hornet's engines roared to life, nothing seemed out of place. The pilots clipped helmets, adjusted oxygen masks, and taxied toward destiny. They were minutes away from disaster and had no idea. Just seconds after liftoff, the jet jolted violently. Cockpit alarms blared, lights flashed red. Both engines had started to fail. It was a nightmare scenario for any pilot. Inside the Hornet, the crew's training took over. They worked desperately through emergency checklists, trying to keep altitude. Outside, houses and schools stretched across the horizon. For a heart-stopping moment, they hoped they could nurse the crippled jet back to the airfield. But each second drained precious altitude. Their options were vanishing as fast as the ground was rising. Realizing a crash was inevitable, the pilots dumped fuel. If the Hornet exploded on impact, countless lives could be lost. They focused on steering the failing jet toward less crowded blocks. Seconds felt like hours. The aircraft was heavy, groaning under failing engines. They pointed the nose away from a nearby schoolyard, hoping to buy a miracle. With the altimeter spinning down, they faced a final, gut-wrenching choice. Pull the handles, or die with the jet. It was time to trust their ejection seats. Twin canopies blew off with deafening force. Rocket motors fired, flinging the pilot skyward in a blur of metal and fire. Chutes opened just above the rooftops. Dangling by thin cords, the aviators could only watch, helplessly, as their Hornet plunged toward homes below. One witness later said, "I heard a voice from above, shouting, like he was sorry." Even as they fell, the pilots' thoughts were on the families beneath them. Moments later, the A-18 slammed into the Mayfair Mews apartments. An explosion ripped through brick and timber, sending a tower of black smoke into the sky.
Run!
Flames consumed dozens of homes in seconds. People ran barefoot through shattered glass, clutching children and pets.
It's okay.
Miraculously,
We're safe
despite the
now.
devastation, no one was killed. 7 were hurt, but neighbors would later call it a miracle. No funerals followed. Residents described a wave of heat and a blast that rattled blocks away. One man found a dazed pilot tangled in his parachute lines,
Oh my
apologizing
God.
through tears. Fire crews surged into the burning maze of apartments. They dragged hoses through flaming hallways, searching for anyone trapped. From the street, families watched their entire lives burn. But many also hugged each other, prayers of gratitude that somehow they'd survived. In the days that followed, investigators combed through wreckage and data recorders. It was ruled a catastrophic dual-engine failure, something so rare no simulator could replicate it perfectly. Media dubbed it the Good Friday Miracle. Because on a day that could have claimed dozens, fate spared every single life. For the pilots, it was a haunting memory they would carry forever. 2 men did everything right, and still nearly wrote the worst kind of headline. In the end, the crash changed training across squadrons. It reinforced brutal truths every aviator knows. The line between routine and tragedy is razor thin. Residents of Virginia Beach rebuilt their homes, but scars remained. A jet had fallen from the sky, a reminder of hidden risks flown over them each day. For the pilots of NAS Oceana, this story is still told, not to frighten, but to honor, and to prepare for the next time machines and men are tested by the skies. Tell us below, Was this tragedy inevitable, or should the systems have saved him? Subscribe for more true aviation stories from the edge. Until next time, fly safe.